What defines a man in your culture? What defines a man? I feel like Kai, it's something we're not going to go down the road per se, but something just wants me to start with China here.
Okay, so in Chinese culture, when you say a man, you often, traditionally, you often think of this man would make money for the whole family, and usually get a job with higher, traditionally, usually have a higher salary, and then
wait. So the man. So we're now. Hey, by the way, we're just for sake. We're not entirely. We're not going to do this. I mean, we're going to shift a little bit, but mostly we're talking about We're going to talk about heterosexual relationships, because if we don't stick primarily with heterosexual relationships, it just gets really, really complicated. So we're mostly going to be there, right? So this is not a heterosexist conversation in that way. Okay. So what I heard you say is, a man is going to make more money than a woman, and a man then is going to... Traditionally, right.
Yeah, but modern days, it's not who has a better strength that makes the money. It's not who have the smarter ass makes more money. So it's a different story today. But in the past, especially in Asian China, when we talk about man, it's definitely someone tough, someone who solve the problems for the family and makes the money stuff. And in a traditional Chinese family, women would stay at home and raise up the children. But still, I would stress that that's the traditionally.
Okay, so that's changing. But the idea for people with a more traditional perspective, it's definitely men are out working, women are staying home. Who else wants to take that? What defines a man?
I can go, I guess. So very similar to what he just said, but because I think even in India, I think men are kind of put on a pedestal. And I mean, talking about heterosexual relationships, if you take the husband in the relationship, they're usually kind of sort of put up or shown to be somebody who is in charge of literally everything.
In charge of the whole family.
Whole family, yeah. So
decisions.
In the family? Exactly.
Yeah.
So he would usually make the decisions for everybody in the family, and sort of direct everybody else in a particular direction. So yeah.
So once again, similar to what Kai said, that's traditional, but does it really still hang on?
It is. I see it a lot. I kind of grew up with it too.
Yeah.
My mom is a housewife, so yeah, I kind of grew up in that, you could say, that environment where my dad, and I mean, I see it myself too, right? Naturally, I'm more inclined to reach out to my dad than my mom because of, just how I've been brought up.
All right, someone else, man.
Well, in Jewish kind of sense to say it, because in a Venezuelan and in a Jewish sense it's very different. So in
talk about Venezuela first. Let's just go right there.
The Venezuelan way depends a lot on the socioeconomic level that you have. So men mostly will, of course, work and be expected to take care of the family. But it's not like in other cultures. Also, the woman can be used to work, and it's very common for a woman to work in Venezuela. It's not like it's only the men.
But and when women work, is it often because men allow them to work, or how is that?
No, they have their own decision. They can take it. But it's very common naturally, as in other countries, that men make more money than women. That also happens.
And so for the same jobs, that's true in China? Is that true in China, where men are going to make, for the same jobs, men make more than women? We talk about that. It's true in India, I assume, right?
For the same jobs, I don't think so.
So that's not a conversation that you've heard?
Like if you're talking about being like entrepreneurs or like
No,
marketing and
just like a
stuff,
job, like a school teacher. Like men would, as school teachers, male school teachers would earn more than female or women school teachers.
for school teachers, maybe there's not a huge difference. But if you work in a factory,
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Somebody, do you have something else, or we're gonna come back. I have a lot. Who else? Bro, you want to go? Dude, just in Haitian culture, man. What's it mean to be a man?
I mean, for like most people, to be considered a man is like somebody that provides and protect for like their family.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, of course, like I guess the man would like make more money than like the wife. So, but from like what I grew up in, I know that to be considered like a man, like you have to like move out your mother's house. So like you could be like at least 26, having a full-time job and whatnot. As long as if you don't pay bills or like you moved out the house, you're not really considered a man because you still have to abide under the rules under your mother's house.
So you're still gonna live under your
Pretty
under
much.
that. Yeah. I would say that. I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So when I'm hearing this constant provide and protect. Bro, is that like, do you hear like in a...
Yeah, it's kind of the same with everyone, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, same with me too. Most women are housewives
Yeah?
in my like city at least.
Yeah?
And then my dad works, obviously. A lot of dads work. But a lot of women work too. It's just most people are housewives.
So you hear, so that thing about that disparate, that's the thing that the man, so many men are like take the lead, right? Like
Yeah.
the tip of the spear
Yeah.
and so on? Uh-huh. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, it's so interesting, right? Yeah. Majid.
So, like in my culture, to be a man is like when I look at a person and say that's a man, is someone who's responsible, who has the ability to help others or to take care of someone. I think also the man has some moral characteristics that he has to have, like truth, like truthful, courage, and so on.
So is that different from women? Like women are not, like when you think about those characteristics, right? And you think about people applying those characteristics to someone, in your culture, do you more apply it to men rather than women?
Which
Courage, being truthful, being
no, that's in general as a good person. But
a good,
yeah. But you asked me about a man.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I would say to be a man, you had to have those kind of.
Those things.
Yeah.
And is that, but okay, what are the qualities that would be then different than being a woman?
I mean, it's not that different. Like, there's certain stuff that women are better at,
Uh-huh.
like caring. You can't see a man like can nourish his child like his mother does.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So men, bro, can I ask you a question? Are men, like, no, I mean, I want to go back to Kai actually. What about like in your, like showing emotions? Like,
Oh, that's a good question. So, in the emotion part, when you think of a man in like traditional Chinese culture, you should be really hiding your emotions. You should always showing your tough side, but the stereotype for women is more emotional and more like more like.
So what do we say about men, like Chinese men,
Yeah,
who really
so-
show their emotions or who-
Something my grandpa and my grandma talks to me a lot is that you gotta be the stronghold of your family.
the stronghold of your
Yeah, you
family?
should not show your weakness no matter how, and you should always be dependable, reliable, all this sort of stuff. And when I was young, if I cry, my dad would like, "Hey, be a man, okay?" So, yeah, that's
Be a
the-
man, don't cry.
I still cry. Yeah, so that's why I say like traditionally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But- So, yeah, I'm not like a traditional man. Yeah.
Dude, Mike, give him a high five on that one now. All right. Dude, all right. Dude, bro, you responded to that about crying.
Oh no,
About
I
being
cry a lot, but but I think I also grew up with the same notion of that boys don't cry, and like I mean in India at least I grew up playing a lot of sports, so I remember this one incident where one of my friends is this really skinny guy, I don't know, but he just didn't seem athletic as a kid. And I remember our coach used to just shout like, "Don't throw like a girl," or like just like make that comparison. And as a kid, I was like, that kind of stuck to me, right? Because I don't exactly know what's politically correct or not when you're 6 or 7. So when I grew up, I was like, oh my God, that was wrong on so many different levels. And that's being taught to like all these young kids. And I was just like, that's crazy. That's surprising.
So I just want to point something out. For me, like that was taught when I was a kid, right? So the idea that, but we live in this world where we have this idea that women, that kind of level of toxicity, which we're going to get to in a second, but that kind of level of building up this toughness with boys is loosening, but it's not at some level in your culture, right?
Not really. I mean, I wish it would be, but even my brother, who's 7 years younger, he wasn't into that many sports and everything. But then I could see like even my mom try to push him to be like, okay, you need to do sports, right?
Be tougher,
be stronger, and yeah. I mean, I was bullied as a kid too, so that also kind of took an impact on them, kind of asking me to be tougher.
Yeah.
So that played a part too.
But I would say it is loosening in China. So if like today you cry as a boy in the school, I think there will be less such words.
Yeah, less of a
Yeah.
Bro. How do you hear that?
I think it was kind of the opposite for me. I was always allowed to cry when I was younger, but now I like rarely ever cry. It's like an annual thing for me. So.
Like once a year.
Yeah,
Well,
I cried last weekend on my birthday because you have to cry on your birthday. But
Yeah. Yeah. What'd you cry about? Just the fact that another year went by?
it was weird. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. Just that one too many tequilas.
Yeah.
Just put you over the
Exactly. I was drinking tequila too. Yeah.
edge. Yeah. That. Dude, Maji, you wouldn't know that because so that's not a Muslim thing.
So, I grew up with 6 brothers, so we're like a very tough household on being a man thing. So the first time I cried, I was like 4 years old, and my brothers like was holding me and like, "Don't cry, you're a man." And I think that helped me like in stress to be more stable in making my decisions instead of like busting out on tears or something like that.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
So you were 4 years old.
Yeah.
Dude, you're a little kid.
Yeah.
And so your brother's like grabbing you. Not you, bro?
No, my older brother.
Your older brother?
Yeah.
All right. Dude, he's your younger brother?
Yeah.
Did you tell him not to cry too?
Sometimes, yeah.
Dude. All right. Fuck. So, wait, so you're 4 years old. Your brothers are going like, hey, man up.
Yep.
Don't cry.
Yep.
And then you're saying like somehow you feel like that helped you maybe make decisions or
I would say more like stable, I guess. Not
Yeah.
get emotional too quick or something like that. So I think it helped me some way. I think
no, it helped you do that. Whether
Yeah.
it helped you in a good way, it
Yeah.
pushed you in that direction. Mike, do you have any thought? Wait, what's my question again?
I don't know.
Just like showing emotions, like in Haitian culture, like where are you at there? Do you guys cry? Does your dad cry?
I mean, I only seen my dad cry like 3 times my whole life. But like as a kid, like he never told me like man up or anything like that. It's like it's okay to let emotions out, but like just get over it like when you're done crying.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Huh. Yeah, it's really interesting, man. Bro, Kai.
Actually, something I want to say is that I feel like it's not the difference between like you cry or not. Sometimes it changed into like you cry in front of others or by yourself.
Yeah.
So I don't really think like men cries less than women, but it's more like sometimes because of the stereotype, you gotta like not show in front of others.
Not show it in front of other
Yeah.
people. Yeah. Or men really just need alcohol to get that out. Alon,
Maybe.
you're like the kind. I think about like Latino men, right? And the whole kind of machismo thing and like showing emotions and all. Do you like relate to this at all? And then I want to ask a different question.
I mean, yeah, of course. Like in Venezuela specifically, it's people men don't usually cry. Like your parents told you don't cry. It's kind of the same. Like these guys, So I think it's pretty common around the world, seeing what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it seems to be. And what's really interesting is that I for sure, there's some things are changing, but they're not changing very quickly. Hey.